So here we are, team, the very first Can2 virtual bodyweight training program. A few of you probably know me as a running coach. I'm also a personal trainer and a strength and conditioning coach. I'm doing today's session from the office just because my husband's at home painting the house and it's a bit of a mess and it's obviously a lot less noisy here. So today's session is all body weight. We will be introducing a few props to some of the sessions further down the track, but they will be things that most people will have in the house, like, believe it or not, a couple of Tupperware container lids or takeaway container lids, a broomstick, and we'll also be using weights in the form of cans of food or bottles of water in a backpack, and that's all optional as well, but that will be introduced in probably about week 2 or 3. So today we're just doing body weight and we're doing upper body and lower body. We have a total of 8 exercises. We will do 10 of each exercise. So if it's a single leg exercise, we will do 10 each side. If it's one exercise, we will just do 10. We'll have 2 minutes break in between each set after doing 3 rounds, and then we'll have a cool down. So firstly we are doing squats, followed by a wall slide. So we have upper body, lower body, then upper body. Our second lot of exercises will be split squats and push-ups. And then we'll have mountain climbers and dips and glute bridges and ab slides. So we're using the entire body today, not just upper or not just lower. So this is a really good session for our runners, our swimmers, or people who just want overall fitness. So we'll start off with a quick warm-up. So with our warm-up, we'll just marching on the spot. Now for Wednesday's session, we'll be doing a far more dynamic warm-up because that'll be our HIIT session. So we really need to get our heart rate up and get a bit of blood pumping before we actually start the session. Okay, now standing on one leg and pulling your knee in towards your chest. And I'm sure everyone knows the importance of warming up before they exercise, so it's not just for running, it's just to get a bit of blood flow and just to loosen up our muscles, our tendons, and believe it or not, even our joints. Great, and now we'll do a forward lunge on the right leg, coming down and coming up. Now if you have any knee problems, hip problems, lower back problems, just do a shallow lunge. And this is a shallow lunge. We're just going down a couple of inches. Great. So ideally we want to do about 4 or 5 on each leg. And from there we're going to a hip opener, so bringing our leg up and around. So one on the right side, up on the left, 2, 3, 4, 'and for those of you who've had a personal trainer before, you probably know that personal trainers cannot count. So if I do lose count, bear with me, because this is new to me as well. Okay, now we'll do a downward facing dog with a slight bend in your knees and pedaling your feet from side to side. And then dropping to the floor. And for those of you who do yoga will know this as a cobra position. It's coming up and getting a nice stretch through your lower back. So just want to hold that, come back into a child's position, which is another yoga position. And then coming up again. So nice and slow on the way up. And then a bit of rotation. Okay, and that's our warm-up done, team. Now we're ready for the session. Okay, our first set of exercises is a squat and a wall slide. So squats are obviously good for quads, hip flexors, and they use a bit of glutes and hamstrings as well. And wall slides are really good for shoulders, so great for swimmers and good for keeping our shoulders back and really good for posture. So we'll be doing 10 squats and 10 wall slides. So starting off with the squats, we will be doing a seated squat. So you need a chair or a bench of some description you can seat. Okay, so starting off, we want to keep our hands on our chest, and when a lot of people squat, they go straight down. What we want to do is make sure our feet are a little bit further than shoulder width apart, our toes pointing out, and thinking about tipping your hips back first and not bending your knees first. This way we'll get much more glute and hamstring activation. So looking straight ahead, and for the count of 3, we are doing all of our strength training in a nice, slow, controlled manner because you have much better muscle activation that way. So it's all about time under tension. So if we do something really quickly, it's great for getting our heart rate up and really good for cardio, but it's not as good for strength training and conditioning. So standing, looking straight ahead, on the count of 3, going down for 3. 1, 2, 3. Pause, and up for 1. 1, 2, 3, and up for 1. So that's 2. 1, 2, 3, up for 1. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So with this one, guys, you can use a slightly higher chair if you want to make it easier, or a slightly lower chair if you want to make it a little bit more difficult. I probably made that a little bit hard for myself, but good training. Okay, the second one is what we call the wall slide. So you want to stand against the wall with nice flat back, nice soft bend in your knees, and your legs coming forward. So it's almost like you're about to do a wall sit, but you're still up a lot higher than what you would be in a wall sit. So what we need to do now is push our lower back into the wall and suck our tummy in to activate our core muscles. So this is mostly shoulder, it's a little bit of scapula and a lot of core. So we want to start off with our arms against the wall, just below 90 degrees, and bring our arms up against the wall. Now it looks really easy, but this is actually very hard to keep your back against the wall. So what we want to avoid doing is doing that. So nice flat back pushed into the wall. So let's start with those. So up, pause, 1, 2, 3 on the way down. Up, pause, 1, 2, 3. Number 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Wow, well, I don't know about you guys, but my shoulders are on fire. Okay, so no rest now. We're going to have 2 minutes recovery after we've done 3 rounds of each. So moving on to our second round of seated squats. So feet shoulder width apart, toes pointed out, looking straight ahead. And remember, tipping back first and then bending. So we don't go straight down with bent knees. Okay, so let's go for 1. Remember, 1, 2, 3, up. That's 1. 1, 2, 3, up. 2. 1, 2, 3, up. 3. 1, 2, 3, up. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay, straight back onto our wall slides. So remember, feet shoulder width apart, slight bend in our knees, tummy tucked in, back against the wall, glutes against the wall. And if you think about squeezing your butt as well, it'll keep your hips a lot more stable. And up for 1, 1, 2, 3 on the way down. Up for 1, 1, 2, 3 on the way down. Up for 1, 1, 2, 3 on the way down. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, shake it out a little bit. Okay, moving back to seated squats. Now remember, if you start to get a little bit tired or fatigued or anything doesn't feel right, stop the exercise and just step it out. So stepping out side to side. And if when you continue things still don't feel right, keep stepping it out and we'll move on to the next exercise. So round 3, seated squats. Looking straight ahead, toes pointing out, feet shoulder width apart. On the way down for 3. 1, 2, 3. Up. 1, 2, 3. Up, that's 2. 1, 2, 3. Up, that's 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, our last round of wall slides. Okay, feet shoulder width apart, pushing your back and your glutes in towards the wall. Arms at just below 90 degrees and up for 1. 1, 2, 3. 2. 1, 2, 3. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay, we want to have a break before we go on to our split squats and our push-ups, so step it out. So you want to step it out for about 30 to 60 seconds. And my timer has turned itself off, so I'm going to have to guess this one. Okay, so that was A, 1 and 2 exercises. We also have B1 and 2, C1 and 2, and D1 and 2. Okay team, now for our second set of exercises, which is the split squats and the push-ups. I actually had to turn the air conditioning up a bit in here because it's getting quite steamy. So when we do a split squat, we need to put our feet offset. So right foot forward to start with, left foot back just a little bit left to our right. So we want to be about 80 centimeters apart and then lunging forward and down at the same time. So if we just try one of those now, just lunging forward and down at the same time. And where can you feel it? Most people, when they do this exercise, they feel it in hip flexors and quads. But this is actually a glute and hamstring exercise. So the only way to activate your glutes and hamstrings when you do that is get your heel at the front, push it into the ground. Just imagine you're trying to push it back towards your back foot, more towards the toes. And now come down. So it's straight down and a little bit forward at the same time. So just trying that. So heel push down and up again. So imagine pushing your front heel towards your back toes. So now you should be able to feel that all in your glutes and hamstrings and not in your hip flexors and quads. So we'll go for 10 of those on the right hand side, 10 on the left, and then we'll move forward to the push-ups. And we have two versions of push-ups. One is a knee push-up, the other one is a modified push-up. So there's both levels there. So remember, if you've got any knee problems or hip flexor problems, just do a shallow lunge, so not going down too far. And if you don't have any issues, then you can go down a little bit further. So knee just off the ground. So let's go for 10 of those. So nice and slow on the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, who else can feel the burn? Left leg forward, right one back, coming down. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now moving down to the ground for our push-ups. So our first push-up is a modified push-up. So on all fours with your fingers spread a little bit further than shoulder width apart and coming down. So this exercise is a tricep exercise but predominantly chest. So we want to do 10. 1, 2, 3. And the other one we can do is the full push-ups on our knees, which is a nice straight back. And we'll go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, coming up from there. And you can mix it up as well, whether you want to start off with a knee push-up, so maybe 5. And then if you're getting a little bit fatigued, you can move to the modified push-up. So split squats again, right foot forward, slightly offset. Imagine pushing your front heel towards your toes. So pushing down and forward at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, left foot forward, right foot back, and go for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, moving to the floor and doing your version of push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Oh, might want to shake your arms out a bit as well. My arms are getting tired. Okay, moving through to our last round of the split squats and push-ups. Right foot forward, left foot back, slightly offset, coming down and forward at the same time. Imagining pushing your front heel into the ground towards your toe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Shaking it out a bit. Left foot forward. Coming down for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last set of push-ups. So if you're getting a little bit tight, if you have been doing it on your knees, it's perfectly okay to move forward to the modified push-ups. It's a nice flat back, so we don't want any of this. We want a nice flat back, shoulders set back, looking at the ground and coming down as far as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. Okay, standing up, shaking it, and stepping out. Remember team, you can pause it at any time if you feel like you need a little bit of a longer break than what I'm giving you. Ideally it's around 60 to 120 seconds. Our third set of exercises is the mountain climbers, and they will be slow controlled mountain climbers, and they're tricep dips. So with the mountain climber, quite often what we'll do is we'll do quick feet. It's more of a high intensity exercise, but we're going to slow it right down today. So we're working glutes, hamstrings, quads, and we're also working a bit of our hip flexors as well. So if we come up as in we're in a plank position, and what you need to do here is bring your left knee to the outside of your left elbow. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And give yourself a little bit of a break. So while we're doing this, it's really important to keep a nice flat back and our hips nice and straight. So we don't want to be wobbling around like this. So it is actually a bit of a core exercise as well, and to help stabilize your pelvis, really thinking about sucking your tummy in towards your back. So it's a little bit of a hard exercise team. So if you need to maybe do 2, have a bit of a break for 2, do 2, have a bit of a break, or you can even pause the video and proceed after you've had enough rest. Second one is our tricep dips. So this one where you will need a chair, a stool, a bench. Any height is okay, just as long as it's sort of midway between your shin and your knee or above. So starting off with our feet nice and close, and that's the easier version. There is a harder version. If we move our legs away, it makes it more difficult. But when we're doing these, it's really important that we go straight down. So that's one. We don't want to hinge forward because that's putting too much stress on our shoulder joint. So straight down, not elbows out like this. We want our elbows by our side to go back. So we'll start off with 1, up. So you want your glutes to be as close to the ground as possible. So none of this, where you're not getting a full range of motion in your triceps. So we'll go for number 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Oh, although these are strength exercises, they're really good for getting your heart rate up as well. So shaking our wrist a little bit, and we'll go for round 2 of the mountain climbers. So if it's a little bit too difficult for you, then you can just do it from a kneeling position. Same thing, keeping your back nice and straight and making sure you don't tip your hips too much from side to side. So it's a really good exercise for runners here because it's practicing good hip stability. So coming up, so left knee to the left elbow, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Shaking out, coming back up to the dips. Okay, elbows back, legs out, and coming straight down. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, last round of mountain climbers. Coming down to the ground, up on your toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice work, team. Last set of dips. Thank goodness my triceps are getting sore. Okay, coming straight down, elbows back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and lucky last, 10. Okay, shaking it out and stepping from side to side. This is our default position, guys. If it gets a little bit tough or you need a little bit of a break, just come up and step it out. Our very last set of exercise today, team, is the glute bridge and the side taps for abs. So glute bridges is obviously all glutes and a little bit of hamstring. Really good for hip stability for runners and swimmers also. And then the side taps is working our side obliques. So really good core exercise for everyone. Okay, so coming down and lying on your back. Now for this one, it's important to have your hands facing up, so your palms to the roof. And that is because it makes the exercise a little bit more difficult, because otherwise if your hands are facing down, you can kind of cheat and you can push through your hands instead of pushing through your heels, which is what we want to do. So feet need to be about a foot away from your glutes, palms facing up, nice straight even hips, so we don't want to be wobbling around like this when we come up. And to bring our hips off the ground, think about pushing through your heels. So pushing through your heels and squeezing your glutes when you get to the top. Just imagine you've got a piece of paper stuck between your butt cheeks and you don't want the paper to fall out. So coming back down, up. So we want to pause for about a second when we get to the top of the move. Coming back down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now what we want to do is move our feet a little bit closer to our glutes, just so we can almost reach our ankles with our fingertips. And then what we want to do is move them a few centimeters away, and then from side to side, lifting your head off the ground, keeping your chin tucked in towards your chest. That'll support your neck and your lower back. And we want to do 10 of those. And of course I've lost count. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, taking a break. So just give your neck a bit of a rest there. Okay, palms facing up. We're going for round 2. So pushing your heels through the ground and squeezing your glutes when you get to the top of the move, pausing for 1 second. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, feet a little bit closer, and then we'll do 10 side taps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, bit of a break there. Okay, now this is our last round of glute bridges. So pushing your heels in towards the floor and squeezing your glutes for 1. Pause. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. And our last set of side taps, feet a little bit closer to your glutes, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And relax. So while we're here, guys, we'll do the very first of our stretches. So with our first stretch, we want to hug our knees in towards our chest. And this should feel really nice on your lower back. Now with stretches, team, we need to hold them for around 30 to 45 seconds to have any benefit. And if you feel like you need a little bit of a longer stretch in any of these positions, then just pause the video. Okay, and coming out straight. Now what we need to do here is get our left hand onto our right knee and bringing our right knee over to the left hand side and looking over our right fingertips. Okay, back to center. This time getting your right hand on your left knee, rolling over to your right hand side and looking over your left fingertips. Okay, and back to center, coming up nice and slowly. And for the yogis in the group, they will know this exercise. This is one of my favorites and it's called child's position. So sliding your fingertips forward and thinking about creating as much space between your fingertips and your toes. So toes back and fingertips forward and head down. And another one for the yogis is the cobra position. So there's 2 variations here. This is quite a strong position. If you feel any pain in this position, then just go down onto your forearms and hold it there. So once again, it's another really good lower back and also a shoulder, chest, opens everything up. Pushing through with our hands into the downward facing dog position and pedaling our feet from side to side just to get a little bit of a calf workout there. And again, we want to bring our feet a little bit closer and a little bit wider and just walk our hands in towards our feet and just coming up slowly, team. We don't want to come up too quick and for our blood pressure to drop and not feel so great. Nice and slow. Okay, when you get to the top, just rotating from side to side. And that's our workout done for the day. I really hope you enjoyed that and any feedback would be greatly appreciated. If you found any of the exercises a little bit difficult or you had any restrictions that prevented you from doing it with a full range of motion, please let me know and we can modify the exercises for next time. Have a great day.